do me well to subscribe to this channel for more. You are welcome to DIA TV. The Ikwerre people, also known natively as Iwuriana, primarily trace their origin to the ancient Benin Kingdom. According to oral traditions and historical research, their ancestor was Okalaka, a member of the Benin royal family during the reign of Ikwerre in the 15th century. Okalaka fled the Benin Kingdom in the 13th or 15th century, or Iwurona. Accounts vary due to political conflicts, and settled east of the Sombero River around 1538 AD. Okalaka had two sons, Ikwerre and Igbo, whose descendants settled different parts of River State, Nigeria. The Ikwerre are closely related to the Ikwerre and Igbo people, sharing common ancestry and roots from the Benin Empire. The name Ikwerre is believed to be an Anglicization by colonial administrators of the name Iwurona, which was the original name used by the people themselves. Despite some claims linking Ikwerre to Igbo origins, the majority of Ikwerre clans and scholars emphasize their distinct identity and migration from Benin. They maintain separate cultural, linguistic, and political identities from the Igbo. For example, Ikwerre language differs from Igbo language, and their traditional settlements are in River State within the Niger Delta region, distinct from the Southeast Igbo geopolitical zone. Additionally, the Ikwerre people have a historical defense tradition centered around territory protection, showing organized social structures and strong cultural cohesion. In summary, the Ikwerre people's origin is deeply tied to migration from the old Benin Kingdom via their ancestor Okalaka, settling in the Niger Delta region in present-day River State, Nigeria, with a distinct ethnic and cultural identity separate from neighboring groups. Their recorded name, Ikwerre, emerged during colonial times due to Anglicization of their native name.
If you feel what we are talking about is not right, please drop your comments and subscribe. Thanks. The origin of the Igbo people is complex, with several main hypotheses and no definitive answer, but scholarly research and archaeological evidence provide some insights. One significant theory, the autochthony hypothesis, argues that the Igbo have lived in their present area in southeastern Nigeria, east of the Niger River, since ancient times without migrating from elsewhere. Archaeological findings from sites like Ugwelle, Afikpo, Nusuka, and Igbo Ukwu show human cultural activity dating back several thousand years, with pottery from around 3000 to 2000 BC and early iron smelting by 2000 BC. Some scholars date Igbo presence as far back as 5,000 to 6,000 years ago in these regions, supporting the view that the Igbo are indigenous to those lands. Another perspective suggests that the Igbo migrated from the north into their current region many centuries ago. This school posits a gradual migration over a broad front, starting around northern Nigeria or beyond, possibly concurrent with population movements similar to those of other ancient peoples like the Greeks and Middle Eastern groups. A third theory proposes an external migration origin linking the Igbo to ancient Jewish tribes displaced around 1870 BC, who migrated from the Far East through Egypt into Africa, eventually settling in what is modern-day Nigeria. This hypothesis is based on oral traditions and some cultural and name similarities, but lacks broad archaeological consensus. Linguistic and genetic studies support ancient settlement in southeastern Nigeria, with the Igbo language part of the Volta-Niger phylum, and genetic links clustering them with other Niger-Congo peoples. Historical records show a core Igbo area around Owerri, Olu, and Okigwe, with no tradition of migration from elsewhere. Later migrations layered into the Igbo cultural landscape from the north and west as early as the 9th century AD, but the original population is considered autochthonous. In summary, the strongest scholarly consensus based on archaeological, linguistic, and cultural evidence is that the Igbo are primarily indigenous to southeastern Nigeria, with a continuous presence of several millennia, possibly supplemented by some historical migrations from northern or northeastern Africa. External migration theories from the Far East and Jewish origins remain speculative and less supported by